Perfect. Thank you, Chair. And thank you very much for being here today. Indeed, in your opening remarks, you mentioned that we're in a unique and critical moment. I'd like to preface my comments by reiterating that I think we are all here furiously advocating for peace between the State of Israel and the fundamentalist Islamist terrorist organization currently wreaking havoc in Gaza, as well as peace in the broader conflict between Israel and the recently recognized Palestinian state. Indeed, we believe a two-state solution with elected democratic bodies that respect the rights and freedoms of not just their own citizens, but especially each other's is absolutely paramount to achieve this. I do, however, have a couple questions on points of clarification on the government's decision to recognize Palestinian statehood at this particular juncture and around what that looks like from a Canadian perspective. To start, who does the Government of Canada recognize as the legitimate sovereign over the Gaza Strip, that being Area A, Area B, Area C, and East Jerusalem?
Thank you for the question and for the sentiments on the prospects for peace. I think the short answer to governance in Gaza is that it now suffers from an immense void. Hamas and its security forces, for lack of a better term, continue to control a portion of the Strip, and of course the Israeli Defense Forces occupy about the other half. There is very little governance, and the Government of Canada currently does not recognize Hamas as a legitimate governing authority. So the work
if I may, who does the Government of Canada then recognize as the capital of the Palestinian state?
That is also a question of disagreement and reflection. Canada has traditionally not pronounced itself on this, and the position of the government is that this is something that should be decided on through consultations and negotiations between Palestinians and Israelis in the future.
Thank you. So moving on to conditions attached to the actual statehood recognition. In the statement where the Prime Minister recognized Palestinian statehood, he wrote, "The Palestinian Authority has provided direct commitments to Canada and the international community on much-needed reforms, including to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state." So my first question is, what specific direct commitments to Canada did the Palestinian Authority give?
All of the above. These commitments were made in writing by the President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, commitments to elections, commitments to reforms on governance, commitments on education reform, and a variety of legal reforms in the Palestinian Authority.
And did these fundamental reforms include guarantees for continued suspension of the Palestinian Authority's Martyr Fund, including any direct or indirect alternatives or attempts to rebrand?
Yes, absolutely, both explicitly and in practice, as we have seen already a number of progress being made in the transformation of those funds to turn it into a more, let's just say, universally recognized process of welfare support for certain families.
Okay, so for clarity, can you confirm that the call by the Prime Minister to for demilitarization is for the entire Palestinian state, including the Palestinian Authority and any militant groups operating in their territory?
That was the predicate on which the decision was made, and that is indeed what the Prime Minister is expecting.
Are you aware of, are any deadlines imposed on the demilitarization of Palestinian by the Palestinian led in exchange for statehood recognition?
Pardon me, can you repeat the beginning of the question?
Were there any deadlines imposed for the demilitarization?
No strict deadlines were imposed, no.
Okay. Was any assessment done on their ability to demilitarize?
I would say that this is going to be a work in progress and something that will happen over time. And the assessment is that it can be done if there's a general push by the international community to keep our collective attention on the situation in Palestine and the support, the reform programs and the support to governance in Palestine. As long as that is in place, then yes, the assessment is that it is possible.
Okay, so let's fast forward to January 1st of 2027. What happens if January 1st comes around, 2027, and open, fair, and free elections have not happened? Will Canada de-recognize Palestinian statehood if they do not hold open, fair, and free elections in 2026?
Excellent question. My understanding of the law and international law is that once a state is recognized, it cannot be unrecognized. This is a move, a decision that happens once, which means that after that, the government of Canada interacts with the government of Palestine as it would with any other country, which means that the levers at our disposal are as a country and as a diplomatic corps and foreign policy are the same as with any other country.
But